Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Welcome to the Sun podcast, powered by Welcome Estates. And as always, I'm going to introduce the dynamic duo to you, Lisa and Colin of Welcome Estates. It's great to see you guys. How's things?
Good morning.
Not
Not too bad. Bit warm, but all right.
Well, I was going to actually say, because as you can see, I'm wearing a coat. So I have to now wear a coat indoors every time we do these podcasts. But how's the weather your end? Nice and warm still.
Having a bit of a
mid-20s.
bit of a heat wave at the minute.
Oh, now you're just rubbing it in.
This time of year, it's really warm. It's about 30. It's hitting 30s again at the minute.
Wow, fair enough, fair enough. Well, I believe you guys have been busy, and in particular, you've been recovering from a trip to Dublin, and also, well, I believe it was a productive trip. Do you want to tell us about the exhibitions you did in Dublin, guys?
The exhibition that we didn't think was going to go ahead.
Yeah.
Lisa had a what would you call it? A little bit of a mini breakdown. Wasn't quite sure what to do 24 hours before Dublin because we was hit with a big storm here in Spain.
Right.
It was a red alert. So on Thursday, before we was due to go to Dublin, it was a bank holiday here, so it was all off. And then suddenly, I think it happens in the UK now. Do you know when every mobile goes off and it's like it's from the government and it's like a big alert? In our area, we had a weather warning for flooding, which is quite.
I've never heard my phone make that noise before.
Yeah. I turned mine off months ago, but yeah, I know what you mean.
So it was basically saying in certain areas expect flooding from 10 a.m. on the Friday morning when we was due to go to the airport.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you went a day early, I believe. Is that right?
So Carl was sat there in his underpants on the sofa, getting ready to put the TV on. And I went, "Come on, Carl, we're going to the airport." He went, "What?" We're going now. I said, because I thought, well, at least if me and Carl make it there, and there's two of us, and then if Colin and Mike don't make it there, every other agent won't make it there. So me and Carl have a great time.
That's a great thinking. And when you actually did get there, and you know, thankfully you did get there and back all in one piece. Was it a productive trip? Were people still as enthused, with buying in Spain? Was there still that same vigor about it all?
Yeah, yeah. We came back from Dublin with the same number of new contacts over a 2-day show, and the arena's a lot smaller there, so you might get 2,000 visitors over 2 days compared to like a Birmingham show where you get 5,000 over 3 days. We came back with the same amount of people who we spoke to as we did in Birmingham.
Well, I've actually got a very interesting bit of data, right? Because we've actually got a full-time researcher now, haven't we? So
like a bit of data.
Some research. So let me give you a little a market update relating to British buyers. So a recent report shows that British interest in Spanish property remains incredibly strong, as you've just alluded to, with 5,731 homes purchased by UK buyers in the first half of 2025. That makes the UK the leading nationality in the foreign property market, accounting for over 8% of all purchases by non-Spaniards. So the proof is in the pudding there, guys. The fervour is still at large, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that, does it? You, Colin?
No, that totally plays out from people we're speaking to when we're in the UK. Absolutely fed up. Weather, political situation we won't go into, taxation, and people just want to get out. So, and those numbers back it up.
Yeah, me and Colin was looking at our figures for this year to see who our buyers were and which countries. And this year, compared to last year, the UK's are back in the lead. They always was, and there was a little bit of a dip, and now for us as well, it's UK buyers are at the top again.
Yeah, and guys, one thing I've noticed from doing the frequent trips out there now to visit you guys, and also just being more immersed in the Spanish property market, is that the infrastructure is becoming a lot more solid in not just La Finca but the surrounding areas as well. So that there's definitely growth to come, and there's more and more coming to the areas as well, isn't there? There's more pull factors.
There is, and that's the conversation we always have with people. And when people don't know the area, they're quite often their go-to destinations are either the Costa Blanca or the Costa del Sol. And the way we summarize it for anybody who doesn't know either area is that the Costa del Sol is probably 10 years ahead of Costa Blanca from a development perspective, and therefore they've got that infrastructure. And so, as an example, you can get off the flight in Malaga and get on a little train and end up, tootling off down the coast. Great. You can't yet do that in Costa Blanca South. You can in Costa Blanca North from Alicante. It's got the tram that goes all the way up, but you can't yet in Costa Blanca South.
Mm-hmm.
That's partly the reason why the prices are different compared to the Costa del Sol. The weather's pretty identical. The sun still shines the same amount of hours, but we don't yet have that inbuilt infrastructure. But it'll come. We've just over the past couple of years got the high speed line into Madrid. You can be into Madrid in 2.5 hours on the train for €25 return.
And from whereabouts is that, Colin? Sorry, from where?
We can go from here, from Oriella, from San Isidro. You can go from Alicante. You can go from Murcia. So I mean, these links are coming, and as soon as that infrastructure comes, then you made a point there. That there's still some growth to go on. That's exactly where the growth is in the development of infrastructure.
Yeah, definitely, and that again, that suggests to me prices will stay strong. And Lisa, would it be fair to say that the lifestyle is still such an appealing pull factor as well? It every time you speak to people at these exhibitions, lifestyle is still a key factor, or have they moved to different factors?
No, it's lifestyle. It's getting a different quality of life, and I think the main pull is the closeness to the UK still. I would say at the end of the day, you can, like, my dad arrived and he got on a plane in the morning on Saturday morning, and he was here by 11 o'clock, at the pool by 12. It is such an easy journey, really, from the UK to Alicante Airport. And it's got the weather. And yes, lots of countries have got the weather, but have they got such a strong expat community? Maybe not as much. Because of the volume of people to come to Spain, but probably because of the closeness to the UK. And it's the sunshine. The sunshine. Me and my dad had this conversation at weekend, because obviously people know from a personal point of view, our family's gone through quite a lot over the past couple of months. And my dad, he's sort of like UK, Spain. And every time he comes to Spain, he goes, wow, it's just such a different feeling. Yeah. To the extent where now I think that he will spend the majority of time here in Spain.
Yeah, apart from the month we're going traveling together. I'll tell you more about that after the podcast.
Yeah. But it's just a perfect example of how the weather, the lifestyle, the people as well, especially if you get to a point in life where you're not working.
Yeah.
You need to fill your time up. And it's harder to do that in the UK because the UK is such a busy country and people are working. And I don't know about you, but I didn't really know my neighbours that much in the UK. Everyone's just doing what they do. If you live in a community in Spain where it's filled with people at the same time of life as you, the same people wanting to get out of life, hobbies, and meeting people, socialising, you suddenly find yourself in a community where that can happen because you're with the same type of people doing the same type of thing. People always asking, where can I pay paddle? Where can I do cycling? And in the UK, most people get up, go to work, go to the gym maybe, but all quite independently.
Yeah, it's definitely true. Definitely true that. Yeah. Like I often in the days, because I tend to work more at the weekends because of the boxing and other stuff. And during the week, it's hard to find people who are also free. So yeah, very good point. Now, what I love about this podcast, it's becoming more of a show every week. Now, not only do we bring you information, you get to meet the lovely Colin and Lisa every week, but Colin has now started booking VIP celebrity guests. So we've got another guest this week, and it's going to be a very interesting chat as well, because we've got Lorraine Howard joining us, and she is from Seagate Wealth Management. And she's got an extensive background in financial services with experience at Barclays, Merrill Lynch, Sumitomo Bank, and she's now helping expats navigate the financial side of life in Spain. So I'd love to welcome Lorraine onto the podcast this morning. And here she is. Lorraine, thanks for joining us, Lorraine. And where are you joining us from this morning?
Thank you. I'm joining you from sunny Benihoffer.
Not too far from us then.
But before Colin takes over, just tell us a little bit about yourself, Lorraine, and about Seagate Wealth Management.
Well, as you said, I've all my working life's been in finance, and I've been here now in Spain 18 years. So there must be something about it that I like. I'm very lucky in that I work with Mark Harrison, who's the managing partner, and the whole team. All of us have come from a banking background. That's what we do. And one of the things that makes Seagate Wealth different from other financial advisors, I guess, is the fact that we have an office, and there's always somebody around who will be able to help our clients or would-be clients with anything that they want to ask us financially. So, you know, financial advisors, we all tend to offer the same products, more or less, but it's that sort of office environment and team spirit that makes us different from other advisors.
Okay, brilliant. Well, a brilliant little overview there. And I think Colin is now going to, I hope you're ready, Lorraine, because Colin has got some questions for you. And here he is.
Okay.
Is this a machine gun round, is it?
Be gentle.
It's interesting what you said there, Lorraine, because ultimately every estate agent has the same product at the end of it, which is a house or an apartment. So certainly a property, but it's the bit in between that makes the difference, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Basically, that's right. Basically, people buy from people. So, you know, if they come in and get that nice warm sort of feeling, then they're going to become our clients. And if they don't get it, then, you know, they'll go somewhere else. But at least there's a team of us. So hopefully they might like one of us.
Okay. So whenever we go to the UK and we do a Place in the Sun shows, probably about half of the people that we speak to want to relocate. And interestingly, this number's actually gone up exponentially since post-COVID, since we started doing them again after COVID. We used to probably get 25% of people wanted to relocate. Now about half. So yeah, I want out. I want to move to Spain. So for anybody doing that and anybody on that pathway, from a financial perspective, what things should they be considering? What's the very first step in arranging their finances if they're thinking about moving?
Well, one of the things that Spain doesn't do, that the UK does, is tax-free. So it's really important to make sure that you have all of your, if you, for instance, are looking to take your lump sum from your personal pension, in the UK, you can have 25% up to 25% tax-free. So while you remain as a UK tax resident, it's important to take advantage of all the tax-free offerings that you're entitled to.
Ah, okay. So do that before you get on the soil.
That's right, yeah. And also the other thing to bear in mind is that you can obviously take that money tax-free. But if you're selling a property, the best thing is to get that property sold and get that money put in the bank, because most people are not liable for capital gains tax in the UK because it's their primary resident. If you sell it and you're still and then you become a Spanish tax resident, Spain will want its bit of tax. Although there's the double taxation treaty, they will almost certainly want some tax from you. So basically, get everything sorted and make sure that you've got all your tax-free allowances before you become Spanish tax resident.
Okay, so two things there then. So this is shouting to me pre-planning this.
Yes, definitely.
You don't wait until you've done it. You actually do it before you've done it, if that makes sense.
Well, that's
you
right.
Need to be in the loop beforehand.
Yeah, because it's quite a long process now with, you know, having to get the non-lucrative visa. So you're going through all of that. So you really need to sit down with someone and sort out a really good timeline of how to make it work for you.
So 2 tips. Sort out your principal private residence before you become a Spanish tax resident, or you might face some capital gains. and take advantage of your tax allowances whilst in the UK.
Yes, definitely.
What about anybody with, it's quite common that a lot of people we'll be speaking to would possibly have an ISA portfolio, national savings, something like that. What about those then, Lorraine, when they become residents here?
Well, those are offerings for UK taxpayers, so therefore they grow tax-free. You can take your money out, there's no tax to be paid. Now, once you become Spanish resident, tax resident, you can keep your ISAs, you can keep your premium bonds. People like to hang on to things that they know and love. The problem with them is that anything that you earn will be subject to 19% Spanish tax that you declare on your tax return.
Okay.
So all of a sudden, they're not quite as attractive as they used to be.
Okay. But interesting that you can still keep hold of it, or you don't have to surrender it.
You can keep hold of it, but they just are not such an attractive proposition. There are providers that can offer something similar to an ISA in that the bonds can grow tax-free and any income that you take is very tax efficient. But if people still want to keep their ISAs, they can. But you're then dependent on what's going to happen in this November's budget as well. None of us are sure what's going to happen. So if you really become a Spanish tax resident, you really want to take advantage of anything that you can get which minimises your tax liability in the country you've moved to.
Interesting. Okay. So on the basis then, you might not want to, but you could possibly still keep hold of the ISA. That's obviously with a UK financial institution or bank if it's a cash ISA.
Yeah.
What about anybody moving to Spain? Then we quite often hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, the bank I was with in the UK, they won't allow me to have a UK bank account anymore because I've moved to Spain." Are there any banks in the UK that are happy for you to do that still?
Yeah, we've only come across Barclays Bank, who will close your account instantly that they find out that you're here in Spain.
Okay.
You get a letter from them, and I think you get around 6 months in order to get your money out of the bank.
Right.
The other banks seem perfectly happy for people to have a Spanish address. That doesn't seem to cause any problems. But Barclays have been saying to everybody, "Oh, it's to do with Brexit, so you'll have to close your account."
It's interesting that though, isn't it? Because you can live in the UK and get a Spanish bank account without any problem. You don't have to live in Spain. So why do Barclays make it difficult?
Barclays have always been the individual bank. I used to work for them, so they always liked to do things slightly different from all the other high street banks, to be honest with you.
Okay.
All right. Good tip there then. So for anybody looking, we've used the word Barclays there. So for anybody then who is coming and, you've said they've sold the house, the money's in the bank and, they would hopefully be buying a property here as well. If they've got their money sat on deposit, obviously we're aware that interest rates, across the globe, not just in the UK and Spain, are quite low. What about anybody looking to make the money work harder for them who, maybe are retired now and, aren't going to earn anymore? What about people like that? What's their options?
Well, I think the option that we use more than any others is Prudential International. Because everybody's heard of the man from the Pru.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Prudential that we use is based in Dublin.
Okay.
So they're in the EU, you see, so that makes life an awful lot easier. And with their bond, no money actually comes to Spain. This is quite important because a lot of people have heard horror stories about Spanish banks. So the money remains within Dublin, within the EU. The investment can be in pounds sterling or in euros, whichever people prefer. And one of the things that's quite important is a lot of people are coming over on the non-lucrative visa. So they have to show that they have a certain amount of money that they can't spend, and where do they put that?
Yeah.
And the prudential bond is accepted as proof that you have the means to look after yourself. So you can put that money away, it can grow tax-free, and you comply with all the regulations that the Spanish authorities want.
That's an interesting one, because we often are faced with, you know, that issue with clients where they think they've got one budget right at the start of the process, but then obviously when they learn a lot more about the non-lucrative visa, you know, they've got to keep money behind, and are often faced with simply not knowing what to do or not knowing where to put it. And the fact that, I guess, you can almost have the best of both worlds by having it in something which I guess the potential to grow is there, but it still be compliant, let's say, with an NLV. That's good news.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the reasons why people like the Prudential, because everybody's heard of them, because they've got 500 people looking to see where your money is going to be invested. Okay. And also the other thing that people like is the Prudential handle all the tax reporting. So there's no need to declare on what we have to do here, the Modelo 720, which is assets outside of Spain over 50,000 euros or the equivalent. And if you do take an income from the bond, you don't have to declare that income on your tax return, because Prudential do all of that for you. So it really does make life a lot easier for our clients.
I can imagine. Yeah, that sounds amazing. What about if they were taking an income then? How does that income get taxed in Spain then, Lorraine? Would it be the same? Would it be the 19%?
No, this is the clever thing. It's what's called an international prudence bond, to give it its full title, and it's tax efficient, Spanish tax efficient. So what that means is if you were to take some money out of your bond, and maybe it's grown at, say, 5%, and you want to take that 5%, you say, I'll have that money, you know. Normally, you would pay the 19% on that whole amount. How the Prudential work it is, they say, okay, out of that 5%, some of that will be your original capital that you invested, and some of it will be the growth. So instead of paying 19%, it works out that people are paying around 3%.
Okay, because of the vast majority of it's being allocated to capital rather than income.
Yeah, because you're only paying 5% on the 5%.
Yeah. So again, why would anybody keep a UK ISA when they can have one of them?
Well, that's it. I mean, we always say to people, do keep a UK bank account, because most Brits go back to the UK on a regular basis. So it makes sense to have some money. If you invest in pounds, it makes sense for your income to be paid to a UK bank from your Prudential bond. And then as and when you want some money to come over to Spain, you use probably a currency company or an app to bring it across as and when the rates are any good.
Okay, good advice. We meet a lot of people who, because obviously they're coming on an NLV, you know, I think you would agree, Lisa, 95% of people we talk to from a visa perspective are NLV. We don't seem to talk to an awful lot of people on, you know, the Nomad visa. And a lot of those people are either just slightly pre or at or just post-retirement. What if they've got, which is quite commonplace these days, a boatload of pensions from loads of different providers? What kind of things should they be considering to maybe consider there?
Well, I think the thing with pensions and what people don't realise is if they've got 2 or 3 workplace pensions, especially if they never contributed to them, what they don't realise is each of those schemes has got fees attached to it.
Okay.
And it may be a good idea to amalgamate all of those into one pension. So then you've only got one lot of fees. And the other thing is that if you've got pensions in the UK, you've probably got a UK advisor an international, an IFA.
Yeah.
The problem is, since good old Brexit, they can no longer advise. Their licenses only let them advise people in the UK where they're based. Like, we can't advise people back in the UK. I mean, we don't know how the tax system works in the UK. So why would a British advisor understand how the Spanish tax system works? So
agree, yeah.
It makes sense, seeing as your pension is, after your house, probably the largest sum of money that you're going to have somebody local be able to look after that. And one of the things is that we pay to be regulated. You know, you hear lots of stories of people coming to Spain and getting scammed and all of these things. It does happen, unfortunately, but we pay to be regulated. And the products that we use are either regulated, if they're pensions, they're regulated by the FCA because the money remains in the UK, or if it's a prudential bond, then that product is regulated by the Bank of Ireland.
Okay. So critically important there. There's actually been quite a big case in the press just these last few days where, you know, a lot of people lost a lot of money a lot of years ago, and there's jail time on the horizon now.
Absolutely. Yeah, so it's really important. What's really important is if anyone offers you a financial product and it seems too good to be true, it probably is. You know, when people say about, oh, I can earn 12%, 13%, what you really want to ask, the first question is, how safe is my capital? That's the most important thing. You know, you've worked for that, or you've sold your house, you've got this money. You're not going to get any more money. So you need to make sure that it works for you.
So, you know, you mentioned there about, you know, the pension. So typically then for somebody who's in the UK, would the kind of style of product that you're using, would that still be a UK-based pension for them then?
Yeah, it would, because most people are in what the term is a SIP, a self-invested personal pension. And we offer exactly the same thing. We have a company based down in Bath that offer the SIP product to non-UK residents. There's not many of them, but this one does. And it's regulated, as I say, by the FCA. So all the funds have to be clean funds. We don't earn extra commission by putting people into this fund or that fund. And we are, like we should be, very upfront about all of the fees attached to all of the products that we can offer people.
Okay. And finally then, we've built up all this wealth, we've looked after it whilst we're here. And then the inevitables around the corner, you know, the old saying, death and taxes. What should we be considering to kind of prepare for the inevitable and, you know, our inheritance to our loved ones? What kind of things should we be looking to try and achieve there?
Well, as far as if you were to put some money with the Prudential, then most people come over as a couple. So the bond goes into joint names. When the first person passes, the bond simply then reverts to the survivor's name. When the bond is taken out, we ask people to give us their beneficiaries, all of the details. And then once the survivor passes, Prudential will pay without Spanish inheritance tax and without the need for Spanish probate, because the money is not in Spain, directly to the people who have been named as the beneficiaries. And they pay out much quicker than anyone else. Because, as you know, if you pass away in Spain, assets are frozen. The taxman wants his money before you can sell the house to pay the taxman. So if there's money sitting with Prudential, that will give your survivors the chance to pay the tax bill and then be able to sell whatever there is left in Spain.
I mean, that alone in itself, being a probate buster is valuable in itself, isn't it?
It is.
Even without any other benefits attached to it. It's
absolutely. It is one of the best sort of inheritance tax planning tools that are available to people here, yes.
Well, there we have it. Any other questions from the gallery?
I thought that was really helpful.
That's really good, the last one, though, because that's what we get a lot of questions about inheritance, and people do get scared stories, and they think that Spain's very scary, and it's not. It's just different. Like you said before, tax in the UK is different to tax in Spain. I was never an expert in the UK, so I'm definitely not going to be an expert when it comes to it in Spain. But people just get a little bit worried, don't they? We're more worried about inheritance and what's going to happen if they pass away, and wills and things like that. So
that's it. Yeah,
I think that's a really, really, really good thing for people to take away from this, and the fact for the non-lucrative visa as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I suppose the biggest difference with the tax is in the UK, when we get our money, the tax has been deducted, so it's all ours.
Yeah.
Whereas here in Spain, for most of us, you get your income or whatever, or sort of your savings, and then you get a tax bill.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you pay it in 2 installments here. And so that's why a lot of people say, the taxes in Spain, they're so high. Well,
it's just because you see it and you don't see it in the other place.
Yeah, you literally get a net amount, and that's it, really. If you looked at your wage slips too much in the UK, you may cry, but you don't. You don't do the net amount that comes in the bank, and then that's that.
That's it, yeah.
But tax rates, apart from the allowances, tax rates are quite similar here in Spain, to be honest. So there's not much difference. The biggest one is the non-allowance for, as you mentioned, capital gains. That's a biggie. That catches a lot of people out, me included, when I first come, because I did want to try it, not quite ready to commit. It was, and in the end, it came to, I obviously wasn't as knowledgeable at that point as well, and it came to sting me. So we're going to go back to Lisa's saying, preparation before you come out, and that's Absolutely. What it all is.
It is, yeah, and that's really, really important now as well. Yeah,
I would agree. You've got to get all these dots joined up before you get on the plane.
Yeah, definitely.
Lorraine, that's been a fantastic insight. We will put your details down in the comments below for anybody, and thank you very much for joining us. It's been very interesting.
Thank you very much. I've enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thanks, Lorraine.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Yeah, guys, that was a brilliant insight from Lorraine. And again, it's so important for people thinking about moving to Spain to get the right financial advice early, and that's been highlighted, because there's some things, like you say, like Lisa mentioned, there's some things that they might sting you if you haven't planned properly. And I think Lorraine's highlighted that amply.
It's an interesting one, Aki, when we talk to people, and as I said to Lorraine there, half of the people we speak to at the exhibitions are wanting to relocate.
Yeah.
Everybody's obsessed with the conveyancing process, absolutely obsessed about it. What happens here? What happens there? Could you tell me what the conveyancing process is in the UK?
I could, because I did a law degree, but it's very convoluted. No, because it's so convoluted now, especially if you're selling an apartment or something on a lease. If you're selling with a lease over here, it is an absolute nightmare. It takes
but you wouldn't know every single step to administrate yourself. But some people feel like they have to know that, and it's like when you go on holiday, you don't ask the pilot which way he's going, you just trust that he's going to do it. The point is, though, is nobody thinks about financial advice. Everybody's obsessed about these other bits, and the visa, yes, it's important, and these things often get left until they're sometimes too late, and people get caught out at the back end. So it has to be part of your pathway. So yes, the lawyer, the agent, the financial advisor, they've all got to be on that same spinning jenny at the end of it.
I also find as well, I find quite interesting when I talk to people, like, oh, you're going to get scammed, or oh, you're going to lose your money, or oh, the builder this and builder that, and there's a fear factor maybe around Spain, but I find it quite interesting because yes, in every country there is some bad people out there. Some people will scam people, but it happens just as much, and if not more, in the UK.
Well, I think that's why people are nervous, because it happens. There's got a lack of trust in the system here, I think, and particularly the conveyancing system, because what you often find is you are having to actually push your solicitor to make things happen and move things. Whereas it sounds like in Spain, it's so much more of a streamlined process, and I think people are taking their concerns here.
I think the difference over here in Spain is because there's obviously a business out there for expats moving over. So lots of businesses have been established around giving advice to expats. So there's a lot of specialized experience out there. If you work with the right people, then none of that should happen. It's like us. We do new builds up and down. We don't work with anybody who's not bank guaranteed. We just don't do it. We wouldn't work with a builder that's just popped up for 2 minutes and we don't know anything about them. We just wouldn't do that. And just like if you work with the right people when it comes to taxes and financial advice, take advice from experts is always my opinion. Don't read on the internet, don't Google, don't this, don't that. It's the same when I used to be in healthcare. You could think you're a doctor looking on Google, but there's experts in every area for a reason. We can't all be experts in everything. Just
they're all on Facebook. They're all on Facebook.
I had a right debate with somebody last night. It was quite funny, and it was all about Brexit and coming out of Brexit and this, that, and the other. And I said, well, I can't really comment. I'm not a politician. I'm not. I mean, I've been experts in my area through my career. When I was a nurse, I was an expert there, and I was in a certain arena that I could give advice. I'm an expert in what I do now, which is not financial advice, and we say this all the time. And lawyers, I'm an expert in relocating people, signposting them, areas, properties. So I'm an expert in that. So don't listen to anybody and everybody everywhere. Speak to the right people and get the right advice.
There you go. Good advice. And Colin's becoming, every week, Colin, your guests are getting better and better. I think to top that, you're going to need to bring the mayor on next. So I'll leave that with you. So we've come to my favourite part of the show as always, and that's property of the week. Now, the reason this is my favourite this week is because I can see it says La Finca Golf in Algorfa, which is my absolute favourite place. And
mine too.
Tell us all about this. I'm missing it, to be honest. You're going to tell us all about this this bungalow, a stunning new bungalow, and priced from, I believe, €261,000. But yeah, tell us about this one, guys.
Oh, we've got a little video running there as well. These are soon to be not available anymore because basically the term selling like hotcakes was coined for these apartments, basically.
Understatement. I've never had a development sell like this ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Never.
They have just, I might be wrong, but they are just about to open a show home. If it's not,
I was there the other day, and I can't see the show house nearly ready yet.
Okay.
Yep.
So
unless we're going to do it over the weekend. We've got a busy weekend coming ahead. I don't think the show. I think they're that busy now getting ready, and they've sold that many of them. I'm not sure show house will come, but I don't know for definite yet.
They've sold over half Aki already without anything to show anybody.
And are these pictures the actual?
Yeah.
Is this the actual result? The place?
Yeah. So that's the development. And the interesting thing about it is that even the way it's positioned on La Finca, it's kind of on a little bit of a gradient, and the way they've built them very clever. Even on your ground floor terrace, on the vast majority of them, you have views of the golf course. Now, views from a ground floor apartment don't usually happen. It's either one or the other. To get the views, you've usually got to go to the top floor. But with these, even in the ground floor off your terrace, you've got a view right down the golf course, which is quite unique. They come fully furnished as well, so you haven't got to worry about anything. They come literally fully furnished. You just got to buy a little TV and you're done.
Yeah.
Now, we did actually drive past this. Last time I visited you guys, we did drive past this development, and you could see that they were putting a lot of man hours into this. When is everything expected to actually be ready?
I think there's two phases. One will be ready is March 2025, and then the second phase is about July. Is that right?
2026, you mean? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
2024.
That one.
Yeah, about July time.
Like some of them are red. That's why I'm not sure about this show house, to be honest. I don't know if they'll need one. But half of them will be ready in March and the rest in July next year. And this is one of this builder as well, which are also selling really well, are the villas, because we see lots and lots of new developments, don't we, Colin? A lot, and a lot of them we say they are all quite similar. two-bedroom apartments around the same sort of square footage. It's just different locations, views and orientation. I think this build is a little bit more unique. I think it has a really nice feel and style to it.
Yeah, they stand out a little bit.
Yeah, they do stand out. And the fact that something comes in that price, so obviously they range from 261 upwards, depending on the orientation, top floor, ground floor. Some have got bigger terrace, so there's always a difference in some of the prices. For it to come with furniture, air conditioning, lighting, anything else?
Just everything. The only thing that they don't provide is a television.
That's a massive. Yeah, so you might think, 260, but how much would it cost you to fully kit something out?
Yeah, and I'm assuming there are going to be the communal fees, etc., on as well.
Yeah. So a complex like this, I wouldn't expect it. How many properties are in there, Colin?
It's around 40, I believe. 40.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect it to be more than around €700 a year. Community fees about.
Yeah, I would say between.
And how many are you listing, guys? How can people get in touch with you to purchase any of these? Are you listing any of these still?
Yeah. We're in and out of this development on a daily basis, literally. So anybody who wants to, like I said, these isn't a show house, but what they do have, because this is an established builder who have been building for a long, long time, they have other apartments in different locations where you can go and see the quality, the finish, all that sort of stuff. So just get in contact, but get in contact soon, because I would, if I was a betting person, I'll say this will be sold out completely by the end of the year. And I think they're building villas next. I don't think there'll be another apartment complex like this on the Finca for the foreseeable anyway.
And I keep seeing this picture of the rave there. What is there? Is there a party complex on board as well? Because there's a
rave.
Yeah, well,
I think that was the photograph
keeps popping up. Is that just because
of the Finca? Yeah,
I
think that might have been in the hotel, Aki.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
there is extras in this apartment though, isn't there, Colin, in the communal areas? Isn't there a little bit more than usual?
Yeah, there's they've got like petanque courts, they've got playgrounds for children, they've got little mini golf. So it's a proper little holiday village. These guys know what they're doing. It's a proper holiday vibe, and it's an interesting one, Aki, from a psychological perspective. We'll quite often meet somebody who'll say, yeah, I want to buy a new build, but I have to be able to see the show house. And as Lisa said, quite often these things are sold from under you before show house even gets built. Because if they don't need to deck one out, they won't.
No,
people buying it anyway.
Yeah. And I think that the price really well for the Finca, and the fact that it's just a TV. And guess what? If you buy it with welcome, you get a voucher, so you don't even have to buy a TV. We'll buy you one.
Yeah, we'll get that one for you.
There you go.
There you go. I mean, you are really the gift that keeps giving, you two, aren't you?
I've got TVs on stock order at the minute for that complex.
She should see her office, Aki, in the corner. It's just full of TVs. It's like independent traders in there.
Off the back of a van or anything. It sounds.
Yeah, we're not talking to Del Boy and Rodney here. They're all legit. But
look at the tiling in there. I really do like this builder. The tiling's just really nice. The finish is lovely. Oh, is that the rave? Were you talking about the sunrise there?
Well, I've just seen a number of things on here which are very, very appealing. I mean, I did see the party, and I just wondered if they were building a nightclub as well. But it looks like that's the hotel. But you're very close to. I mean, we have driven past this. I drove past it. It's a stone's throw away from the Finca, the main commercial hub. Yeah. As you say, the golf course is right next door. It's absolutely fantastic. As you say, there's going to be new transport links into Madrid as well, so you're connected. It's just fantastic by the look of this. It's ideal, really. People need to book a viewing trip with you, if not just to see the apartments, to see the area as well, don't they? If not just to see the apartment, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, this is definitely if you're thinking apartment in a nice area, this is definitely a must see to put on your list.
Brilliant. Well, there you go. That was our property of the week. Now, we may have some viewers' questions. I'm not sure, but if we have viewers' questions, they're going to pop up on the screen now. And if we don't, well, we do have. So there we go. So let's get straight into these viewers' questions. So if I buy a property through my business profits and then decide to sell, how does that affect tax and my UK business. I have no idea there, guys. So I'm going to leave that straight over to you.
Hey,
I'm going to test Colin's knowledge now. Obviously, I know the answer.
Yeah,
What do you
none of
think,
us know
Colin?
the answer to this.
Well, the first thing I would say is that I would caveat this, that we aren't tax advisors, and obviously to buy a property through your company, you're going to have had some pretty extreme tax advice going into it.
So get some about going out of it.
Yeah.
But
get a financial advisor.
Yeah, it's like the video we done with Alex, the video from previous, where he talked at length about buying your property through your company, and it's a well-trodden path. We do a good number of these every year. In fact, we have another company coming out next week to do exactly the same. So it's
interestingly though, Colin, what she just mentioned as well is, who would you seek for advice here? Buying it in Spain, you've got, but this is a UK tax question in my eyes.
Yeah. So
would it be a UK tax advisor? I am assuming a business owner, when they're buying in Spain, they will be talking with their UK advisor and their Spanish advisor, and that's where to get the answers from, because your Spanish one can't really advise on the UK tax and vice versa.
I think this is a UK tax advice.
So you've answered the question there well, because what effectively happens when somebody is looking to set up a Spanish company by using UK funds, which is how you do it, the lawyer here will basically go into conversation with your accountant in the UK. So your accountant understands it, and they basically work together to put everything together. Your lawyer in Spain will set everything up in Spain, and your accountant in the UK will make sure it flies from your UK end. Basically, the top and bottom of it is the capital gains tax is slightly different through a company. It is slightly higher than personal capital gains tax. And that's why you have to really run a number crunching exercise right at the start before you purchase through a company to make sure that the numbers work. So without giving any numbers, the capital gains tax rate is higher through a company. And that's why you've got to get it right at the start. But the easiest answer is get the advice going out as you would going in.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's move on to our next question. What happens if my offer isn't accepted? Is there room for negotiation on new builds and resales? I think I know what you're going to say here.
New builds, no. New builds, people think they can, but they may squeeze I would actually say no in this climate at this moment in time. During COVID and pandemics and things, when the builders needed to shift some of the units to keep on building, and they did used to throw in a little bit more, didn't they, Colin? You could negotiate an aircon unit or this, etc. But the truth is, with new builds, they're selling that quickly that there isn't any negotiation on them.
They'll just wait for the next. They'll just walk for the next person to walk in the door 5 minutes later.
So our advice is, I know everyone likes a bargain and they like a deal and they like to feel like they're getting something, but if you want it, buy it, please, because they're not going to. The builders don't need to. The price is the price. Resales is an interesting one because, yes, there's negotiation. You can put an offer in. You can't put an offer in on a new build. You don't. You pay what it's worth. Resales, you can, but I would say it is, with product being so low on resales currently, it is definitely more of a seller's market than a buyer's market. So if, again, you want something and you like something, don't lose it over €1,000 or €2,000, because we see it, don't we, Colin, time and time again. And people just literally kick themselves afterwards, because then next time they come out in 6 months, the prices have gone up anyway, so they won't even get what they could have got for that price. But I would say they're going within that video that we did recently, actually, on properties. Yeah. What would you say about within 2% of the asking price?
Yeah, there's hardly anything that people buy from us now that is 5% discount. Everything's within 2-3%.
Yeah.
But that's the market, Aki, and that's that's how people are going to have to condition themselves. We get email requests, I wouldn't say on a daily basis, but certainly on a weekly basis, of just people speculating, saying, I'll make an offer on this, ridiculously low offers, and they're just never going to be accepted.
And people will say, well, I want to offer this because I think it needs a new kitchen, or I think I want to get a new bathroom on it. Well, if a property is dated and needs refurbing, it's been priced in that sense. If not, and it's just personal taste, then a seller's not going to repay for the kitchen fee or the bathroom. So properties are priced in a sense of that if they need a bit of work done, they're probably a little bit cheaper than the one next door that's had the work done. So demand is very, very high. So I wouldn't be trying, if it's something that you really, really want and you don't want to miss out, I wouldn't be negotiating too hard, would be my advice.
Yeah. Okay. Good points there, guys. Next one. Do I really need a Spanish lawyer, or can I use my UK-based one?
Yes and no. Next question.
Yeah.
Yes, you need a
Yeah.
Spanish one, and no, you can't use one.
110%. We say all the time, a UK lawyer knows nothing about Spanish law, and a Spanish law knows nothing about UK. Just like I know nothing about real estate in the UK, and they know nothing about real estate in Spain. We're all experts in our own area, so get the right advice from the right person.
And just to take that a little step further, get a local lawyer as well to you. We've had clients before where they've got a cheap deal from a lawyer in Barcelona. Well, how are they going to do notary appointments down here?
Yeah.
You know, have a lawyer on the ground where you're going to buy, because Spain is still a very face-to-face country with regards to the legal framework. Your lawyer will have to go to notary somewhere. So, you know, you don't really want somebody from Madrid or Barcelona doing that on your behalf.
No, we get a lot. Well, I've been recommended this person. That's absolutely great. But I can promise you there's some really, really good lawyers in the area that you're buying. Because once you buy, are you going to go up to Madrid every time you want an appointment?
Yeah, good point as well. Again,
yeah, well, there is the high-speed train.
There is a high-speed rail link now. Why do most drivers stay on the outside lane on roundabouts and never indicate? Are the rules different in Spain?
Sorry, rules in Spain about driving. What are they?
No, this is just something that has annoyed Chris, and he's put this question in. That's 100% what has happened here.
Actually, you know what? I don't think he has. This is a question that I ask on a daily basis, because I still can't work out a roundabout work 6 years later in Spain. Because you're right, everyone. What was that, Colin?
No one knows, basically.
Stay in the same lane, and indicators are optional extras in Spain. You should know this.
I hope that answers your question, Chris. Right, moving on to the next one. Other than Torrevieja and La Zenia, what other beaches near La Finca would you recommend?
I think the closest is actually Guadamar, is it not?
Guadamar, yeah. We've got dogs as well. So in Spain, from I think it's from the 1st of November all the way through to the whatever 6 months after that is, maybe the 1st of April or something. Over the winter, you can actually take your dogs on the beach as well. In the summer season on normal beaches, you can't. So we take our dogs to La Marina Beach.
I've not been to La Marina, but I hear it's a really, really nice beach.
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah, quite shallow.
Yeah.
A couple of little chingaritos on there. But yeah, you can't take your dogs unless it's a specified dog walking beach in the summer. But in the winter season, you can get them on the beach running.
But just to give people an example, obviously the sea is the coast. You drive to Guadamar from somewhere like La Finca or Casada or Benihoffa, the areas in this probably take you about 15 minutes to get to Guadamar. And from that point, guess what? All the way around, there's lots and lots of beaches. I couldn't name them all, but you've got Cabarroy, you've got Playa Flamenca, you've got La Zenia, you've got all the ones near us, more like the Torrevieja and Guadamar. And then you go down into the Mar Menor, and there's beautiful beaches down there as well.
Los Alcatraz, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's lots and lots all the way along the coast.
There's loads. All right, and there we go. So there were our questions. Now I believe we've got something a bit new as well coming up. The Spanish phrase challenge.
Oh dear!
Wow. Okay. So ¿cuánto cuesta esta casa? How much does this house cost? Okay. ¿Cuánto cuesta esta casa? Right. So Chris is. Oh, that is the phrase. Okay. So we're going to get a few Spanish phrases here. Very handy to know, aren't they? Really.
Go on, Colin. Have a go. I'm not.
Esta casa.
Come on, Lisa. It's your turn now.
I know that was me in the background. You don't just hear it was pre-recorded.
Very
cuesta esta casa?
There you go. Didn't even have to move my lips.
What you should have done, Aki, was left off the English and then asked Lisa what that meant.
Yeah, that would have been a good test. I'm just worried about what's coming up next. Or is that just the Spanish phrase?
Is that the one for today?
That's the one for today. Okay, right. So, I mean,
¿Cuánto
we
cuesta
have talked
esta
about
casa?
learning Spanish in the past, actually, and I know, Colin, you've learned a little bit more than Lisa, but Lisa is still learning. Do you find that it helps massively? Do you find that it helps massively?
Yeah, it does. But the interesting thing here, Aki, and we've said it on multiple occasions, English is the international language here. So I'll use our friends that we were just with at the weekend. They moved from the UK 18 months after we did, and they live in Granada. Mm-hmm. And they've had to learn Spanish at a much faster rate because not a lot of people in Granada speak English. Mm-hmm. Whereas when you're here, you speak Spanish to somebody and they speak English back to you.
Yeah. My problem, Aki, is it's not from lack of learning. If I listen to somebody, I can understand a lot more Spanish than I could do 5 years ago. I can get by from listening. My issue, and it's to do with my personality really, is the trying to speak Spanish. That's where I get embarrassed. I've not got the confidence, and I have no arena to practice in over here. I really don't. I don't come into that many situations. So it's like Colin will have a go. My husband Carl will have a go. I just find it difficult. I find it a bit like,
you get a bit nervous. Yeah,
I do. But from a understanding, obviously I've been here for 5 years now, and I can read emails and know what's going on, and I can listen. I was up in Alcoy yesterday getting our TIEs at the police station, and I could understand what was going on. It doesn't all be muffled to me anymore.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's progress, definitely. Because even understanding little bits, because I've been to certain countries where even the letters are different. Like Uzbekistan, I remember going there into the airport and thinking, what is going on here? But if you can actually even just piece it together, it does help. It goes a long way, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. Well, I've enjoyed that today. We've had financial advice from Lorraine from Seagate Wealth Management. Brilliant pieces of advice there. We've had the latest property updates. We've had the property of the week, which was in La Finca, they looked like, as you said, they're selling like hotcakes. We've even had a Spanish phrase on there as well to have a go. I mean, it's literally, it's literally been a great show, hasn't it? It's been great, and Colin's going to work on that next VIP guest, aren't you, for next time?
They're already lined up. It's like ITV, but it's like the Jonathan Ross show, the booking studios.
Just in case they're getting bored of us by now, we'll put some other people on. But you know what? It's questions that we're asked all the time, and we signpost. So it's good information for people. Most people. Oh, do people know about us hitting 10,000 subscribers?
Oh, yeah, 10,000 subscribers.
The YouTube channel.
We've got a fanfare, Chris, in the background. Fanfare music.
Yeah. So
thank you to everyone who subscribed.
Yeah, so just after Dublin, we hit 10,000 subscribers, and it's still growing on a daily basis.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, it shows that people are engaging. They are out there. And some of them do send questions in as well, actually. So
there goes the questions are great. And I really do apologise for the sound effects, guys. We will get better. I don't know what's going on, but we'll get better.
We've got 9,900 subscribers now.
It's all gone down. But yeah, the subscribers are and this is the information that people want. Most people who are watching are like the people we meet at the shows. They're gaining they're gathering information. They're in the research stage, which is absolutely brilliant. We're here when people are ready and when they've got questions. But these videos, we people who have finally come out and purchased, they've watched these videos and they actually know a lot of the answers now. Our job's over.
And Colin has promised that if we reach 100,000 subscribers, he's going to try and get Antonio Banderas on the podcast.
100,000?
It's 100,000.
Yeah, just 100,000.
Yeah, I've asked him to bring Penelope Cruz on with him as well.
Well, I didn't want to mention Penelope first, but that's fantastic. Great news.
Yeah.
But there we go. So look, if you're planning, you know what to do, guys. If you're planning your move to Spain, you need to visit welcome-estates.com and explore the homes, book a viewing trip, start your new life in the sun. You need to become one of our 10,000 subscribers. You need to follow our Instagram. I mean, guys, it's all there for you. And Colin and Lisa and the team are always there to answer all of your questions. And we've even got a TikTok now. You need to get on board with the TikTok as well. So there we go. Guys, it's been a pleasure speaking to you all. And we'll see you next time.
Wrap it warm.
Thank you.
Welcome Estates, your trusted partner for finding dream homes in Costa Blanca, Spain. Beautiful new build villas, seaside apartments, and country fincas. Start your journey today at welcomeestates.com and let us find your perfect home.